Hello, everybody. My name is Nkosi, and this is the Two Sides of a Coin podcast. Also on here is John. You want to say hi, John?
Hey everybody.
All right. As you guys know, this is a podcast where we talk about the New York City food scene as well as pop culture as a whole. So, this week we are going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to be talking about Trevor Noah and his announcement to leave The Daily Show. We're going to be talking about the very weird and hilarious Megan trailer. We're going to
Mm,
be talking about the finale for She Hulk if you haven't seen it, so be aware of that. And John is going to give us some more of his food spots. So let's start it off. John, let us know what we're going to eat this week.
Oh man. This week y'all gonna eat real good. Y'all gonna eat really, really good. I'm telling y'all. I gotta say, I really love this restaurant that I'm about to tell y'all about. It's called Comfortland. Now, Comfortland has been in Queens for, I would say, good while now. It started as Queens Comfort. It was a small location for the restaurant and they were just starting out. I gotta say, when I first went there, I actually went to the Queen's Comfort second location, and I'm telling you, the food there is amazing, just amazing. Like it was phenomenal. Like I had chicken and waffles, and instead of it being like the chicken wing, like regularly you get like the chicken wing and a breast and a waffle. No, they attacked my inner child and just gave me a nice, no, not just nice, awesome two chicken breasts on top of a waffle. And when I say it was amazingly good, I actually was silent. I actually chewed my food properly, which was shocking for Toya because I usually smack when I
Mm,
chew.
yeah,
But
yeah, I used to do that. It does not sound great or look great.
no, no, it doesn't. And it annoys Toya when she sees me doing smacking. But I actually sat down there and I was like telling myself in my head, properly chew your food. This is not something you blindly walked into. This is this is amazing. I mean, I've had chicken and waffles plenty of places, but Queen's Comfort did it for me. Like it was my go-to. It was my so go-to on like Sundays. If I didn't have to work, I wanted to go to Queen's Comfort. It kind of annoyed my wife a little bit, but I really love Queen's Comfort, and I was saddened when they shut down. But one thing it left was Comfortland, and Comfortland is just like a treasure trove of everything you could want. Like, I mean, literally everything you could want. Like, pretty much, it's a place where the itis is not the only fictional item on the menu. Like, to be honest, they did have they don't, it's not on the menu anymore. They did have a treat called the itis. It was a frosted covered chocolate covered donut with custard filling, and it was topped with powdered sugar and Oreo cookie dough chunks. And when I say I always order this, I literally would come, even though I'm writing myself out. So yes, so we can add a new scoreboard when John snitches on himself.
Yep, this is
Yes.
number three. But I
Oh,
mean, hey,
ow!
you've done well. I mean, we're at the what is this? This is the ninth or 10th episode. I mean, you've only done it three times. I mean, that's pretty good. That's like once
Yeah, that's
every
pretty.
other episode.
And this time I actually announced it.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
So I go to Queen's Comfort. I I use I go to Comfortland. I go to Comfortland when I'm cheating on my diet.
Mm.
It, Yes, cheating on my dad. I'm sorry. But in my defense, I do go for. I don't eat anything too heavy. But when I came across Comfortland, I just can't get enough. I really can't get enough of the jelly bombs. Now, yes, I said jelly bombs. Okay, which is very entertainingly, hilariously when you say it. Like, like, oh, what you got? I got me some jelly bombs. I mean, it's the baked goods they have is just so entertaining, but so good. I mean, from my favorite is the Boston cream croissant. You gotta try this. I mean, literally, it's like, it looks like a croissant when you really look at a croissant, like shaped kind of like a croissant, not 100% on the nose, but it's shaped like a little mini baked croissant covered with chocolate and multicolor, of course, the multicolor sprinkles. And on the inside it's just like infused with love. Like when you take the first bite, it is like, oh my goodness. I don't know why I've been punishing myself by eating Dunkin' Donuts. And yeah, we're just gonna leave it on Dunkin' Donuts because I mean, it can't pull me away from my Krispy Kreme and my Manchi Manchi, but
Yeah, you
it it,
snitched
it,
on
it, it
yourself once, John. Let's not make it two in one episode.
okay. But definitely, guys, y'all gotta check Comfortland out. I mean, from the baked goods, they have these Captain Crunch chicken fingers that are on point with the truffle fries. Now, most people get it with the truffle fries, but me, I'm sorry, I go the mile. I like to go the mile. I'm a glutton at heart, but I'm working on it. I'm working on not being so much of a glutton. I've worked hard, very hard, not to be a glutton, and Kenny, I'm a big glutton sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can say, and they've seen me. Whenever I come to Comfortland, they know I do not glutton out. I have not been a glutton. I had I have proof, and
I
I
mean,
have receipts.
I don't know
I
how
have
much proof
receipts.
you could have, John, when if they know you by sight. If they know you by sight, that means you've been there a lot. So you may
Yeah,
not have
yeah.
individually been a glutton, but you're definitely a repeat customer.
Well, that is true. I'm a repeat customer. So definitely try those with the truffle fries, or my good go to is the chopped cheese empanadas. Yes, I said chopped cheese empanadas. And I'm giving out a warning. These are so good, so good that there's a chance it could cause, if you're in a relationship, guys, and you share this with your significant other, make sure you get like maybe two or three orders. Don't just get one. I have a loyal follower who's kind of having a lover spat at the moment, and yeah, I think if I had mentioned that he should have gotten maybe two or three orders ahead of time before introducing it to his girlfriend and fiance, he would have avoided the situation he's in now.
I mean, John, you can't put that on yourself. When you're with somebody, you need to know, like, you need to bring some stuff you need to bring some stuff back if you're going out to get something to eat.
Yeah. I mean, me and Victoria, we don't have that problem. But apparently, his problem was that. So I do suggest, guys, if you're going to go to Comfortland, and this is it's like you go without your significant other, make sure you definitely double up when you leave. And moving on, Comfortland is, I have to say, is one of the definite hidden gems of Queens in general. Well, it's like a hidden gem in Astoria, but I definitely say throughout all Queens, it is definitely one of the many hidden gems because, like, for them to, they survived the pandemic and literally came out with like a whole new menu on top of that. So definitely check out Comfortland, guys. Comfortland is located on 4009 30th Avenue in Astoria, Queens. Zip code 1103 for everyone who uses Google Maps. But the next place I'm going to say is, Kenny, I have to say it's a step up on my half because I say I have been to a lot of food festivals, like the night market and, random food festivals you see like in the street. But, dude, I am definitely stepping up. I get to attend the Wine and Food Festival.
Nice. That is a
Yes.
very like John for the people who don't know what the Wine and Food Festival. Like I know that's a big deal, but you want to explain to them what the Wine and Food Festival is?
So the Wine and Food Festival is a 4-day event. It's kind of like Comic Con in a way, but it's broken down in certain ways. So Thursdays are like their opening event where they it's like a burger bash and you get a sample of all of New York, well, yeah, all of New York's come up restaurants from catering companies to bakeries and even newly entered into New York establishments also pop up at the Wine and Food Festival. Now, besides the first 3 days, I would say the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, those events are 100% and regularly open to the public, but it comes, each day is different. So Thursday, like I was saying, was like the burger bash. Friday is usually wine tasting. Yeah, it's wine tasting, and you get to sample some of the a lot of the baked goods and upcoming pop-up restaurants that now have locations in certain parts of NYC. One of the bakeries that come across, I actually came across them last year, which was my first time working Wine and Food Festival. I wasn't there too long. I only worked it for 6 hours, and most of the time I walked around patrolling the area. I did sample some of the spots, but I did not do it while I was on patrol. I did not do it while I was on patrol. That is totally unprofessional. If you work security at any event, it is unprofessional to be like participating in the actual event when your job is to make sure certain people aren't doing certain things wrong. Just a heads up for all those security guards out there that get lucky to do events like this. And do not be on your phone. Please do not be on your phone. But getting to the spot that I really liked, and I met them last year, and I was trying to get some more of the samples and information, and I didn't get lucky, but one of the girls remembered me, Kennedy.
Okay.
Like she remembered me. Like she was minding her own business. She was like, "Oh my goodness, it's you! I know you." Yes, I got one of those.
Nice. That's nice to have. That's nice to have.
Yeah, yeah. And not one moment did she mention me coming, and she did. She just said nothing but good things to say about me. And when I mentioned to her about my food page being hacked, she was very saddened by it. But I told her I have the new page up, and if she wanted to join me on restaurant reviews, I said definitely she can do it. And the name of the her establishment that she works at is Innocent Yesterday. You're gonna feel guilty today. Just to tell y'all that it actually says that in the name. Innocent Yesterday, Guilty Today. Now, Innocent Yesterday, Guilty Today is a cafe. Really good baked goods. I mean, amazingly baked goods. But the favorite thing that I like from Innocent Yesterday and Guilty Today is their chocolate chip cookies. They are amazing, Kennedy. I mean, you remember the Toll House cookies? I mean, did you grow up eating Toll House cookies too?
I mean, I was more of a Sausalito kind of person, but I do know a good tall house cookie. Yeah, I like those.
Oh, dude, they hit it on the nail. I mean, really, really hit these on the nail, these cookies. I came across them, and then I was like, and they do like the regular Tohakas, but they also do that the nice chocolate chunk. Remember the chocolate chunk? It's like that thick cookie, but if you didn't make it right, you definitely made hockey pucks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I do definitely know the thick piece of like dark chocolate. Yeah. Yeah, I know those.
Oh man, but it's so well spread out in like so you think you're gonna just have like a regular thick cookie. No, no, no. See, this is where the name actually fits in for these cookies because you'll have like your first bite and be like, "Oh, I'm not doing anything harmful." It's just one. I can just stop. I can stop at one cookie. You're not gonna stop at one cookie. Just give you a heads up. You're not going to stop at one cookie. And for all those people who come across this place, there's a guaranteed chance if you do purchase anything from this place, you're probably going to either double up or triple up on the baked goods from innocent yesterday, guilty today. Like literally, that's my honest opinion. You're going to either double up or triple up. And they're at the Wine and Feud. This will be the second year I'm seeing them at the Wine and Feud Festival. And I'm telling you, everybody that I mentioned, Kennedy, when I was working the event,
Yeah.
everyone was saying, you need to have your own booth. They told me I need to have my own tent and booth.
You mean you mean the innocent yesterday, guilty today?
Yeah, because everyone I was sending over to them, they had mentioned you should really have your own booth because you're literally you were spot on about what we the cookie and everything. And I was like, it ain't just a cookie. No, 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 no. Don't try to play me. I talked about other stuff. Oh, I did talk to people about it. So I told them go where they're located, and I don't know if I think I was coming off a little aggressive a couple of times. So when I mentioned to people, I apologized if I came off aggressive. But man, they know what they're doing in there. You know, really do. These girls are on point. Telling you. And I'm even though I do share loyalty to a lot of cookie spots, but I'm glad this is my new this will be is one of the newest ones I can happily, recommend to people, because I mean not everybody, especially tourists, because the area where it's located, couple of good good hotels are in that area, and a lot of people definitely. gave me a thumbs up. I was even approached by a follower. Didn't know they were at the Wonder Food Festival, but they just literally walked up to me. He was like, "Hey, your fat man love anime NYC 21." I was like, "Yes." You know, I gotta say, my picture is doing me justice. You know, my picture's doing me justice. So definitely check this out. Innocent yesterday, proving guilty and guilty today, is located 252B East 77th Street, New York 10075. And yes, people, it is just like the name stands. If you were thinking about going to this place today and planned on going tomorrow, just know you're innocent in the present, but as of the future, you are guilty.
All right. Well, thank you, John, for letting us know about a couple of good big spots. I'll definitely check out that second one. As long as I'm guilty in terms of my diet and not guilty in terms of any crime, because
Right.
you know, I would not do well in prison.
No. I,
Okay.
I mean, I don't even think I'd do well in prison.
No, I don't want to be the
No.
type of person that says, "Oh, I do great in prison." No, I just
No.
never
No.
want to go.
No. Please, please. Don't. Mm-mm. I don't know. That's why I always focus on being good. And I don't do bad. Even though some things feel bad, I do my best to do good.
And with that fourth thing overall that John has done to implicate himself, we will move on to our next
Yes.
topic. Uh, so, for those of you who are aware, who watched The Daily Show, Trevor Noah recently has announced that he is leaving The Daily Show after 7 seasons or 7 years. Um, and I always think it's interesting when someone leaves a show, especially one like The Daily Show that's been around for decades at this point. It's almost older than me, honestly. Daily Show
Yeah.
started in 1993. It had Craig Kilborn on there. Then it switched over to Jon
Yeah.
Stewart. Then Jon
John
Stewart,
Stewart.
he had the longest run, and then he handed it off to Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah did his own thing, and now, after 7 years, he's pretty much going to leave. He's going to go back on tour. He's going to visit countries, learn new languages because, he fell in love with touring during the pandemic. But, John, what do you feel about Trevor Noah leaving The Daily Show?
I mean, I'm kind of in a way, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad because I really like Trevor Noah. I really like Trevor Noah. I've seen him on when I saw him on Jimmy Fallon, and he was talking about it. I was just like, wait, what? I was kind of shocked because I always seen Trevor Noah as like he felt he in my personal opinion he's like my Johnny Carson.
Okay.
You know, that's who Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is like my Johnny Carson. After seeing him for all these years, and man, it's just brimming of talent. They couldn't have picked anybody else because I mean Trevor Noah was it. You know.
I mean, I always felt like with Trevor Noah, the biggest thing is he was good in The Daily Show, but I always found the most interesting things about Trevor Noah was when he was just speaking unscripted, because that's
Hmm.
where I think most people fell in love with Trevor Noah. It wasn't from the scripted moments of The Daily Show and the usual segments. I think people fell in love with Trevor Noah like when he was doing his between the show stuff where he would just talk to the audience off script, nothing planned, just get questions and answer. I think that's where most people fell in love with Trevor Noah when they realized how intelligent he is, how worldly he is,
Yeah.
how well he can shape his ideas in a very small amount of time, which
Right.
lends itself great to comedy. You know,
Oh yes.
and I think with most people, the biggest thing I've heard is it's just like even if they necessarily didn't like the Daily Show after Jon Stewart left because they had such an emotional attachment to Jon Stewart being there. The big
Mhm.
thing is, I think when they talk about Trevor Noah, they're talking about a guy who, as a person, I think they like very much. I think as a person, as a comic, even as a novelist, they love his sense of humor, they love his insight, they love the things that he can do because he does them very well. And I mostly feel the same way. I love Trevor Noah based off that, and
Mhm.
I like him on the Daily Show, but that's not the thing I like about him most. I like to see him when he's unscripted, talking to the audience, when he
Right.
just has to formulate his own thoughts. I like
Mhm.
that, but I do think on the Daily Show he was getting better and better.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was in there for 7 years, and I felt like this was the moment when he was really starting to take off. So,
Yes. Oh. And the thing is, he gets a lot. He's been in a lot. Trevor Noah has like a lot of range, and like he's made a lot of cameos in a lot of movies, and it in a way like when like most of the people that I know at my job, they were talking about when they talked about Trevor Noah leaving, and it was like, why are you leaving? It just they didn't understand. A lot of people didn't understand, and I was like, so I guess if you're having a problem understanding why the man is leaving, maybe you should probably evaluate, your level of fandom, like because I don't blame the guy for leaving. You know, I don't blame him. He's going to bigger and better things. He's touching on stuff he was doing um, when he started. Like him one of the things I remember hearing when him saying he wanted to do was go back to doing stand up.
mm-hmm.
And honestly, I've seen I got lucky one year and I went to a comedy show and Jon Stewart was there. And I was like, oh shoot, Jon Stewart's about to do stand up. He didn't do any stand up. He was more like the host for the event. But I was like, wow. I at first I thought he was going to do stand up, but apparently he didn't. He was just hosting an event, and I like the other comedians that were there. For him I would love to see him do stand up. To be honest, I'd pay a lot for that show.
Okay.
I would pay a lot. I'd pay, yeah. Hopefully not going over my budget.
Okay, but looping back to Trevor Noah.
Yeah, but looping back to Trevor Noah, the man's the man. It's. I would say it is his. In a way, I feel like after all the years being able to turn on my television or go to Hulu, I'm. I guess it is his time. In a way, it's shocking because I honestly I had him set to maybe leaving after good 13 seasons. I mean, what's your opinion? Where did you see him maybe leaving at?
I mean, I more had him leaving after like 10 to 15 seasons. But I do think he is striking while the iron is hot. He's doing the it's like with a professional athlete where they have two choices. They can either leave in their prime or they
Hmm.
can leave after their prime is way past it. And
Yeah.
I think the guys who have the least regrets, funny enough, are the ones who leave right around their prime or very quickly after their prime is lost. Like those are the
Right.
guys who have like the least amount of regrets. Like I'm talking about, Michael Strahan. He left when he was still able. I think he still had a good 2-3 years in him, but he
Mm-hmm.
decided to leave right then, and I think that was the right decision. Um, Also from boxing, you may agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
Lennox Lewis.
Yes.
Remember,
Oh,
Lennox Lewis
definitely.
left right in his prime. He
Yeah.
retired immediately in his prime, and when you see Lennox Lewis now, Lennox Lewis looks great.
Oh, definitely.
You know, I think Ray Rice, he retired a little bit after his prime. He wasn't still in his prime when
Yeah.
he left, but he definitely retired at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
He probably could have gone on for another 2 or 3 years, but I think that would have dragged down his legacy a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So I think him leaving now is him absolutely striking when the iron is hot. I think
Mm-hmm.
him leaving now is I got 7 years in. Could I go on for another, 7 or 10? Yeah. I think nobody was going to push him out. But at the same time, I think he saw, the pandemic really showed him,
Yes.
I really want to get back into stand up. And I think he's pursuing his goal and he's pursuing what he wants to do. Uh, I think Trevor Noah is like, he's a comedian's comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's going to be, and this might be way too big. I could be way projecting on this. But I think Trevor Noah is going to be the younger generation's version of like a Chris Rock for us.
Ooh. Yeah.
Where he is, because, when you think about Richard Pryor, obviously legend.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about
Yes.
Eddie Murphy, obviously legend. He was the
Legend.
megastar, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about Chris Rock, because I think most people, when they think about Chris Rock, they think about him being a comedian. But the thing about Chris Rock and the reason why he gets so much respect in like the comic community, like the
Yes.
comedian community and all that is like Chris Rock is one of those pillars for
Mm.
black comedy out there.
Yes.
Like when you're talking about it, you might bring up your Richard Pryor, obviously. You'll bring up
Mm-hmm.
another name.
Like Bernie
So
Mac or
well, yeah, you bring up Bernie Mac. You'd also bring up, Bill
Red
Cosby,
Fox.
Red
Bill Cosby
Fox.
or Red
Yeah,
Fox. Yeah.
just move past that real quick. You'll bring up Eddie Murphy, you'll bring up Dave Chappelle, but Chris Rock is right there. Like Chris Rock
Yes.
is sustained. Uh, I mean, he's had specials for like 10 years. There was a 10, 15-year stretch where Chris Rock
Yes.
was the comedian, the black comedian. That was Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trevor Noah is on that trajectory where I think he can be that for the generation younger than us. For like
Mm.
people who are like 10 years younger than us, I think when they think of which black comedian is going to be that pillar for comedy, like
Mm-hmm.
they're going to see Dave Chappelle as a legend. They're going to
Right.
see Chris Rock as a legend, just like with
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy and stuff like that. But,
Right.
you know, they're going to see, and this is going to be funny, and I think you'll agree with this. They're going to see Kevin Hart in that Eddie Murphy role for us.
Wow.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
you
could
think
see.
about it,
I could
yeah.
see it. I could when you say it. Yeah, I could see Kevin Hart being like the
Because the
the
comedian
Eddie.
that blew up and he's a megastar,
Mm-hmm.
that was Eddie Murphy, and now it's Kevin
Yeah.
Hart.
Yeah. Now it is.
So for kids
You're
growing
right.
up, when they think of that comic superstar, they're gonna think Kevin Hart before they think
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy,
Right.
because just the time between like Eddie Murphy Raw and now, Eddie Murphy Raw, I think, is older than the both of us.
Oh, it's definitely older than the both of us.
So that's what I mean when I say like it's such a huge gap. So
Hmm.
for people who are younger than us, Kevin Hart was their Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And I think for people who are younger than us, Trevor Noah is going to be their Chris Rock
Yeah.
for them.
No, no, and I agree with you 100% that that's how it's gonna be because I mean you could see it now. Like if I've asked my nieces, like who's their go-to comedy personnel, and of course I'm thinking because it comes from a girl, comes from my nieces. Of course, I'm thinking the first person they're gonna say is like maybe Monique or Wanda Sykes. But the first thing I've heard, no, surprisingly, the first thing I have heard out their mouth was Trevor Noah.
Yeah, yeah, that's that makes sense because
Yeah.
all the amazing female comics that we remember were coming
Hmm.
out with stuff when we were growing up,
Yeah.
and really, when you think about it, like with the internet and with all the stuff that he's been able to do and his comedy specials, which are really, really good.
Hmm.
Like, I think Trevor Noah is well on his way to, at the end of the day, he's going to be in that. I think the, I think the floor is Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Like, I think he has a high ceiling, but I think the absolute floor is he's going to be the Chris Rock for this next generation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's a cool thing. I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that is.
So,
That is something that I like about comedy. It's like you can have comedy and then be able to pass it on to like the next generation.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, my dad, he passed on to me like, Richard Pryor, Robert Harrison. Oh shoot, George Carlin.
Hmm.
I was totally about to forget George Carlin. And my favorite, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I think
Rodney Dangerfield was like literally the one person my father had me see after my grandmother introduced me to Joey Carson, Jimmy Carson. Yeah, I said it right. Hopefully, I said it right. But yeah, you know,
no, you're
Trevor Noah.
absolutely right.
Yeah, Trevor Noah is definitely our Chris Rock. I mean, when I first came across Chris Rock, it was when he was doing the galore sketches in a living color.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, so we're gonna pivot a little bit. Well, not so much because
not so.
we were talking about Trevor Noah and comedy, and we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about a horror trailer that ended up being
Oh,
incredibly funny.
hilariously.
So yeah, so we're going to talk about the Megan trailer. Now, for those of you who haven't been on social media or online, Megan is the trailer for a horror movie that's going to take place in January of 2023. And
Hmm.
it brings a lot of like Chucky or Annabelle vibes, only it
Oh
has
no,
got
no, no!
real.
It says 100% Chucky. I didn't see any Annabelle lines. I say 100% Chucky.
All right, that is fair. That is fair.
I mean, oh, Okay, I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts, so
I
I'm
mean,
just going
it's
to.
just the trailer. We can spoil that. It's the trailer. We can spoil that.
Okay, fine, fine, cool. Okay, yes, okay. So literally, the dancing, it's so Chucky. It literally screamed out when I saw like. So when you see the trailer at first, you're like, oh, okay, this looks interesting to watch. And I'm thinking maybe it's like at first when I seen the trailer, I'm thinking this is like maybe like a I'm thinking I assumed this would be like maybe like one of those where like girl gets like Andrew, well, girl gets doll, doll is like a protector, like I figure it would be like one of those like hero villain type of horror films.
I mean, there are very few hero villain horror films. I mean, I just saw I saw a tired young woman who had to take care of kids before she
Hmm.
could. So she was like, I work in AI. I'm going to give this person an AI doll. And
Yeah.
it does not turn out well.
No, 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 no. No, it doesn't.
I mean,
I mean,
no, but it's like the doll when you first see it, like Megan looks up and she's like, "Hi, I'm Megan. Do you want to play?" And I was just like, "Okay, you are way too creepy."
yeah,
And I don't know if you noticed this, but Megan has way too much sass. Like even the way Megan took off the shades, Megan was like, "Uh, what is this for peasants?" And Megan gave off the look like Megan was tired of everything the minute they saw it,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, or the minute she saw it. I mean, she's a doll. It's not a person, but still. Like,
yeah. Man, she got some wit to her, man. She got some bars.
I mean, Megan does have bars. Megan does have
And yeah,
bars.
Megan has bars.
I mean,
Because like I said, the one thing I grew like, ooh, that's gonna be a meme was when in the trailer she's like Megan off and she's like, wait, what?
yeah, that entire look that she threw her was just like, who the who do you think you're talking to?
Like, bitch, what you think you talking to Siri?
Like, oh, I mean, Megan was completely not for it. Like, Megan was like, all right, you got about 2 seconds to take that back. If not, I'm going to take you out back
Yes.
and we going to fight.
Yeah. Like
And
honestly, like halfway while I was watching the trailer, I'm thinking maybe it's gonna like I kind of for a second, I assumed for a second it was gonna be kind of like that. Oh God, man, please don't let me forget this movie. Oh, you remember the movie Jexy?
no, I didn't see that movie.
Uh, well, Jexy. Well, when I saw the Megan trailer, that and it got to just that part where in the trailer where they show how she's telling her to like turn off,
Mm-hmm.
and she gives her that look, I immediately thought about that movie, Jexy,
Okay.
and definitely is a good watch. I personally watch it when I watch that movie. When when I feel like I'm really down in the dumps, I like to watch that movie to help me build up, you know, pick me up.
Well, I don't think this movie is going to let you pick yourself up. I mean, but
Oh no, no,
I
no.
I will say the meme parts, even with that, it was still like in the range of like standard horror. Then
Hmm.
you get that scene in the woods where she's chasing somebody down on all fours, you know. And I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
this is still fine. This is still fine. This is still regular horror.
Oh
It
yeah.
was the dancing.
The
The
dancing is just what like totally just threw it, totally like turned it up.
Yeah, I mean, when you see Megan, you're just like, oh, she's just a doll. And then she starts body rolling. And I'm like, what?
Yes. Oh my goodness. And in perfect, like in a perfect, like from the like the guy from the movie Ted.
I mean, only this one wasn't CGI. This was obviously somebody with a
Right.
doll's face as a mask. But still, that
Yeah.
part has everyone just like, how am I supposed to take this movie seriously?
Thank
I'm
you.
not. Okay. I already know if she's going to be body rolling and doing flips and doing TikTok dances in this movie, I
Yeah.
already know what I'm in for. I'm in for a fun time. It's not going to be a horror movie. It's going to be
Oh,
like
you
a
think it's
cheesy
not going to
horror
be a horror
movie.
movie? It's going to be a horror movie.
I mean, hey, I saw that and I burst out laughing and I immediately knew we were probably going to talk about it this week because
Oh yeah.
wow. Just wow. Oh. So you're going to go see Megan when it comes in theaters?
I'm going to see Megan when it comes to theaters, but I'm going to kind of hope that theater is kind of somewhat a little lit, because, or I may have to. I may just go with a very, very large group of people. Because man, I kind of got a little. It kind of gave me the willies a little bit. You know,
I can see that.
it kind of gave me the willies. Like, yeah, I'm when like the Child's Play movies kind of did a number on me. You know,
Yeah, but
so Megan kind of looked like, well, with the body rolling thing, I kind of calmed down a little bit, but then when it shows like her running on all fours and her like literally like pouncing on someone, holding them down to the ground, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. We're gonna go with a large group. We're not going to do this one alone.
man, I would go there just by myself. And if somebody pops up with Megan's mask, I'm gonna kick them straight in their chest. I'm gonna kick them straight in their chest, and I'm gonna keep moving because
Okay, when you say, are we talking about Boondocks kick in the chest, or like, because that I think that would be more effective.
nah, I'm Sparta kicking that person in the chest and leaving the theater. I'm just like, boom, I'm out. Mm-mm. That kick
I,
alone would be worth the price of admission.
I think the Boondocks one would be more effective. At least they don't have chance to get. You don't think they would have a? I mean, come on, they'd have a chance to get back up if we did the Spartan.
Hey, I don't need them to worry about getting back up. I just need to worry about getting away.
Okay, that's true.
So, but yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
Funny
okay.
enough, there is a theme that I didn't realize until now. Like we talked about Trevor Noah with comedy. We're talking about a
Mhm.
horror movie that went straight to comedy. And
Mhm.
then we're going to talk about She Hulk, which also
Yeah.
is a workplace comedy.
Yes.
You know, like I saw the finale. And before I get
Oh
into it,
man.
John, how did you like it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? How do you feel about it?
Okay, so when I watched the finale, I kind of felt like, on one hand, I kind of thought it wasn't really the finale, you know. But when they did the whole, when she did like, oh wait, no, I'm doing a spoiler.
No, you can go into it. We're fully gonna spoil this. We are gonna talk about this finale.
Oh, okay, cool. So when she does the whole thing, like, okay, you know what? Let me take off this inhibitor, and then you see them showing the Disney Plus Marvel selection, and she just like knocks down like her window, and it's like, oh yeah, Marvel, yeah, I'm gonna go here. And she talks to Kevin Feige as an android.
Yeah.
I was just like, at that point, I kind of thought, I was like, so wait, is this a. I kind of thought it was like maybe a lead up to the finale, but then when I seen what happened afterwards, like the closing part of the episode, I was like, oh, this was good. This was definitely the finale, but it was good.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I really liked it. And to me, when she did that, like my
Hmm.
brain immediately started I started cackling because my brain immediately went to one of my favorite comedies of all time, and that was Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Blazing Saddles, they're having this big fight, and then they pan out, and you realize they're on a sound stage, and then they're just crashing through sound stages on the Hollywood lot, fighting back and forth and everything like that. And
Yeah.
I really think that if you, I think She Hulk was one of those shows where if the comedy worked for you, the show
Hmm.
as a whole worked, and it worked really well. If you
Yeah.
did not like the comedy, if the jokes weren't necessarily landing as consistently as that, I think you were not gonna like this finale. Because I think the things that a lot of people wanted from this show,
Hmm.
you know, if the humor isn't landing, then it isn't gonna work for you. Just like with any comedy,
Right.
it's like people love Friends. I don't like
Oh man.
Friends because the comedy doesn't work for me, but there are plenty of like comedies where like Friends or Cheers or like I like Frasier, don't like
Oh,
Cheers.
oh, oh. Frasier's
Like
good.
but I do think that comedy is one of those things that's like really subjective, and you can recognize a well developed, well executed show
Hmm.
and just not like the comedy, you know.
That's true.
And I think that was the biggest thing. Like, if you did not like the comedy of She Hulk, you were not going to like the show. But if you did like the comedy, I think you were going to love this show,
Right.
And the big thing I did love about this is that one of the biggest complaints that I've heard from people is all Marvel TV shows or movies or anything have to end with one big battle, with one big
Hmm.
bad, and maybe a portal that leads into another dimension or something like that,
Or Carmitage.
or Carmitage or whatever. But there's usually a there's usually a big battle. It's usually
Hmm.
real cinematic, and you know, while I did like that, while I do love those things,
Hmm.
I love the fact that with this and also with another show that we haven't really touched on, Werewolf by Night,
Right.
the shows did not end like that.
Mm-mm.
Like, they just ended, it was completely different. There was, it was so unexpected. Like, nobody could have seen that ending. You could not have paid
Mm-mm.
me enough money, and I would not have seen that Jen was literally going to break the fourth wall, go
Hmm.
out, and oh, real quick. When they went to the Disney Plus screen, did you also think that something was wrong?
I thought, I literally thought that that was going, like, my TV did that. I
Yeah,
literally thought that, like, I was like, wait, whoa, 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 do I have an internet malfunction again?
like cuz I had that problem when I showed it with my partner when they were watching it. When that scene came up, they immediately picked up the remote and they were like, "What? Huh?" did something, and then they heard Jen and they saw Jen punch it out, and they were like, "Oh, this is part of the show." That's really
Yeah,
funny that it made me question, like, "Oh, did I mess it up? Did I press a button? Did I do something? What?"
yeah.
And then
Like
you saw
I
it, and
know,
you're
I
just
know the
like,
remote wasn't near me. Like I'm like, I know I didn't sit on the remote by accident, and you know,
"Yeah." I love that. I love that it made everybody question what they were doing, and then when the bit was fully revealed, you were just like, "Oh, okay, I got it.
Mhm.
We're good."
Yeah.
But oh, I did love it. I liked the series as a whole. I like the fact that not only with, especially with Daredevil, I like the fact
Mm,
that you know I think there were a lot of people who they were so in love with the Daredevil from Marvel
mm-hmm.
that they just wanted him, and they got the same actor, and we're getting a
Yeah.
similar Daredevil, but we're not getting the exact same Daredevil.
No.
I just think there have been way too many people who fall in love with characters, and they're like, this character can never be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same thing that I talked to you about with Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
How, I love the movie. I really did. I do think that when people are talking about that movie, the one thing that they don't really address is that you feel that that version at the end of it is your version, the version you love the most about Spider-Man, and that the version in Spider-Man Homecoming and the version in Spider-Man Far From Home, that's
Mm-hmm.
not Spider-Man, that's not the Spider-Man you love. The the biggest difference between that version of Spider-Man and the version of Spider-Man as Spider-Man No Way Home is the fact that he is alone, he is in pain, and he is
Mm-hmm.
broke.
All right.
And if
And
he's
the
not,
thing,
oh, go ahead.
and no, no, finish what you were saying. Finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm just thinking, like, if he's not all three of those things, then if you still can't identify with that Spider-Man, I think that says a little bit more about you than it does about Spider-Man, you know? But it's like with the comics, it's like the people that can't identify with Spider-Man when he creates Parker Industries, and they only identify with Spider-Man when he is struggling, when he is broke, but he's still moving forward and all that stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's just me. I and I think you noticed this as well. Did you
Mm-hmm.
notice how they made Daredevil more powerful in Shield than they
Yeah.
did in the Marvel universe?
Yeah, absolutely right. They did. They did pony up some extra strength there. Like his oh, he can sense everything.
Well, it wasn't really the senses, it was more about his agility. Like
Oh
he was
yeah.
way more agile. He was able to dodge and do way more stuff than he ever was in the Marvel show,
Yeah.
which I think will be interesting because if they bring that over to his new series, then we're going to see much more acrobatic Daredevil fights, and I'm really loving that because that's a hallmark from the comics that Daredevil is
Yeah.
incredibly acrobatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's close to Spider-Man. He's not Spider-Man, but he's very
No.
close in terms of his acrobatic ability.
Yep.
And that's something we never really saw with the Netflix show.
Oh, exactly.
So I loved it. Like I didn't love all of it, but I loved the majority of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the things you loved about the show as a whole?
I mean, outside of when what was the episode where they first when we first meet where Daredevil makes his cameo. That
That was the
was
last episode.
episode 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in episode 8, I really liked it. I really liked it because I was like, okay, one, I was impressed with the uniform. The whole yellow and red.
Okay.
I really liked it. It's definitely something new because I remember seeing something similar in a comic, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like, huh, I saw this before. Why did I see this before? And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, it's one of the Marvel old school Daredevil looks. Okay, I'm liking this, and how they touched on the relationship with She-Hulk and Daredevil, even though she hooked up with the Thing. I really feel that there could have been a I think the She-Hulk and Daredevil relationship was more entertaining than the whole She-Hulk and Thing. Just pointing that out.
What She-Hulk and thing? You talking about the comics?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was more talking about the show. Like, what else did you like
No, no,
about the
I'm just
show?
saying that that's what the show touched on. The way the show touched on how her relationship was between in the Marvel universe.
Well, no, they didn't really touch on that. They never even they she like she mentioned talking about when the Fantastic Four are coming out, but they didn't really touch on that part. Like, what else did you like about the show outside of She-Hulk and Daredevil?
Oh, outside of She-Hulk and Daredevil, yeah, I like the villains. I really like the villains they brought in. They brought into this show. Really like and how they do. It was just really. I really liked everything in the show. I can't really just touch on one thing. I like the whole show in general, from the comedy to the cameos that they had in, how they stuck to the comic book, and I liked it all.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can point out that overpowers anything else about the show.
All right. So, with that being said, I think we'll be able to wrap up the episode. So, John,
But
yeah,
do one thing I want to say. But everybody, please do, if you haven't caught it yet, do watch the episode of She-Hulk. If you haven't, and sorry for the spoilers if we spoiled anything.
I mean, if you got through this whole thing and you still haven't seen She-Hulk, I don't feel bad for you. But with that being said, John, tell people where to find you.
You can hit me up on Instagram at FatManLovesAnimeNYC21. Feel free to DM me if you have a restaurant you would like me to look into or check out. And also DM me if you want to know any other spots from the any secret spots I got in my little wallet that I'm not trying to talk about. Definitely ask me about that because if you're looking for a go-to spot for your own self and you want to call it your happy place away from life, then yeah, definitely hit me up because I have a lot of those places.
All right. And For me, as always, if you want to find me in terms of social media or anything like that, please do not. But if you do want to find us on the podcast, there are a couple places you can look for us. So you can look for our email. That's twosidespodcast@gmail.com. That's TWOSIDEZ podcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at twosidescoin. You can find us also on Instagram at two sides of a coin. All right. So hope everybody has a good day. Hope everybody has a good rest of the week. And we will catch you next week.